Hello everyone, this is a video of my first attempt to try out my hand in IL-2 Flying Circus in online play, person versus person environment. I'm flying the old Camel, which I'm not really all that familiar with. I've mostly been flying the German planes, so the Camel is fairly new to me. I've maybe have one or two flights on it just to check it out. I know it's got some bad habits, but it's also superbly maneuverable, so I did have some confidence. But it was more of an overconfidence. I should have had some more practice before I jumped into a combat environment like this. At any rate, I'm now getting into the no man's land where all the fighting takes place. There's somebody up above. I'm trying to figure out who that is, and as I do, there's somebody that just took some shots at me, and he did hit me, but not really bad. He more spooked me rather than anything else and caused me to lose control. I pulled hard and I got into a quick spin, but I managed to recover just above the ground. The guy probably thought I was dead because he saw me spin in, so he let me go apparently. And then I'm looking behind me trying to see where he is, why he isn't behind me finishing me off. And then I regain my composure and start looking for where he went. So there he is. He is turning around. He realized his mistake. He saw me recover, and now he's coming back. But now I'm ready for him. So I take a few shots. I'm not really sure what I hit, but I know I hit something. So, now he's probably more pissed than anything else. He's using his superior energy, but he flew right under my guns. And he's now trailing white and black smoke, so I'm pretty sure he's hurt pretty bad. Unfortunately, I got overzealous and pulled too hard, and once again I'm flying just feet away from the ground. Miraculously, I survived the second encounter with Mother Earth, and in the meantime, that guy jumped. You can see his parachutes and the plane going in, so that's one kill for me. Very first in PvP online. And then this DR1 shows up, and he starts playing scissors with me, and my Camel is a little bit hurt. I'm not really sure what that first guy did, but it's flying okay, so I think we can handle this guy. I've flown the DR1 enough to know that it's superbly maneuverable, probably more maneuverable than the Camel, but it's also very slow. So as long as he loses his energy, he's going to have a really hard time recovering it. So for now, he has tons of energy, and he's coming down on me, but I know a few more of these turns, and then it's going to be game over. I'll manage to get behind him if I survive this long. So all I'm doing is trying to turn into him. In modern terms, that would be one circle fight. So now I land a few good shots, and by now he's sort of low on energy. So there he comes around again, and he is actually, I don't know why he didn't take a shot at me this time, but now I'm behind him, and that thing in the middle, the aiming thing, or aiming tube, or whatever it's called, that is just totally in the way. I should have configured the Camel before I jumped in, but this is the first time I see this thing, and it's really annoying. It's just getting in my way. So my aiming is really poor, and this guy's chinking a little bit, flying left and right, trying to survive. But he's not doing all that great because I think his energy is his engine's hit. If you look closely, you're going to see his plane sort of shudder. So it's probably a few cylinders that are out of commission, and that's causing all kinds of vibrations. So I expect he would start shedding tail surfaces at any point if he actually went in now. So that's kill number 2. Not too bad for a guy with no experience flying solo in a PvP multiplayer environment. I see a third plane. I'm trying to identify him, but it turns out that's just a friendly coming in from our side, entering the combat area. So I basically counted my blessings and I turned around and left the combat area and headed home. I flew back and landed at the air base, so that was my first sortie, and it was more luck than anything else. The fact was that the two players were flying different planes, and it wasn't really... I mean, with the first guy, it was more like he sort of underestimated me, and they weren't playing team. Now, in the second engagement, the two players playing for the German side decided to play as a team. They both fly the same planes, and they fly a pretty good formation. So I wasn't really sure at the beginning of this engagement whether I'm facing human or AI players. So I sort of assumed it's AI because many human players, especially in DCS where I'm coming from, tend to fly solo. Certainly don't fly good formations like this. So first player checks me out, flies past me. Second player checks me out, flies past me. So I sort of assumed it's AI, but it turned out not to be the case. They were playing as a team. I got on the tail of one of them, and he just flew, he flew pretty hard. He was turning hard, but he wasn't really jinking all that much as I expected. But I think that was intentional because as I'm shooting up at him, his buddy came behind me. I think their mistake was that they let me get too close to this guy. But my big mistake was I didn't check my back, I didn't check my six, and the teammate punished me for it. He came behind me, shot me up pretty good. Now my plane is all banged up and I'm winded. So my maneuverability, the only thing I really have in the Camel, is gone. So I'm just now trying to survive. I want to see where this guy is. I'm, jinking, going left and right, hoping that he'll, avoid me or maybe leave me be, but that's obviously not going to be the case. Here I'm trying to slow down, so if he flies past me, maybe I can point my nose at him as he overshoots. But, the guy just keeps on coming and punishing me. Now he takes a few shots, hits me again, and he's smart enough to pull up and stay out of my nose. So at this point, the only thing I'm thinking of is I need to get out of here. And I'm close enough to the friendly lines. If I could just get out of this territory here, because it's got all these dead trees underneath. If I try to land here, I'm gonna hit those trees. So I just want to fly a few hundred yards further out to the friendly territory and set her down. But it's just not gonna happen. This guy keeps coming after me and taking chunks and winning me further and further. And at this point, I'm just trying to survive, and here's the inevitable end. He takes out my tail surface, and there goes my Camel, and I'm dead.